Hello everybody, it is Sunday the 22nd of January. I want to talk about two things. That is the idea that we are in this fallen world and the rapture, because I'm beginning to think that might happen. Beginning to think that might happen because Jesus was raptured in the story. He was raptured, he was chucked out of this reality. Basically because he had become the fullness of the energy of a different world. And he was no longer compatible with this world. And he made himself into that. That is where we are radically different from everything else in this world, where we can create our own energy. We are energy beings and we can create ourselves. Because we are at a level of consciousness where we can do that. Where every other part of this world, just, the animals and the plants and stuff, they do not have that ability to change themselves in any great way. They are what they are, for the most part. But we can change ourselves. So Jesus became something that was no longer compatible with this world. So this world spewed him out. And where did he go? He went to this kingdom that he had become the energy of, to this other world that he had become compatible with. And that is the world of the God of the Bible. That's a different reality. So, the fallen state of this world. We are talking about intentions and really about what we perceive as good or bad, or what we perceive as perfection. Now, the fallen state of this world, the intention of this world, and you can see it by its fruit. You can see them by their fruit. You know them by it. You know the God of this world by his fruit. Yeah, and that is not us, because we are creating ourselves. What he has created is a world where you have God knows how many different forms. From the rock to the vegetative, to the animal kingdom, to humanity, which can't quite get it together. But so you have all these different forms that have different needs, that are radically different from each other, that have different desires, different needs, that are on different levels of consciousness, that are somehow all on this small rock, creating a sustainable whole, where everything receives and gives, even though they are so radically different from each other. Yeah? And that is the fruit of the God of this world, of the intention of this world. That is what you can see as the fruit. That is the outcome. And also creating all of these things living together, whilst every part is allowed to be itself. It doesn't have to change itself. It just has to find a niche where it can give and receive and become part of everything else. It does not have to change itself. It's allowed to be what it is. And we're being told that is a fallen state. That is nothing. To me, that is genius. That is utter genius. That is a very high level of being. But what are we being told are the higher states, higher than what has been created here? What is so much greater than the God of this world, who's a fallen one? Well, one higher state is obviously the all, the absolute stillness, where there is no more pain, there's no more right or wrong, it is just blissful existence. That is a higher state than this. That is utter hypocrisy. Because I would say it is extremely easy to do nothing wrong if you're doing nothing. I am utter perfection because I'm doing bugger all. And again, there are those in this world that have become the image of that thought, mainly the Eastern monks, yeah, who's sitting in their blissful omness, doing bugger all, and calling that perfection, the higher state. And they are the picture of utter hypocrisy, because the only way they can sustain themselves in that state is because everybody else is serving them hand on foot. You know, all the lesser mortals have to run around carting them the stuff that they need so that they can stay in the absolute perfect state. That's hypocrisy. That's not enlightenment, that is total hypocrisy. And then you have, and again, we are creating ourselves according to our ideas. They are becoming, and one day they will be no longer the image of this world, the energy of this world. We are moving ourselves away. It's not that the world is not giving to us, it does. It wants to. But we are moving ourselves away from it. So they are moving away from the idea of this world. Jesus, you know, on the cross, why have you deserted me, my Father? Father didn't desert him. Father was here all the time. Father gave him his knowledge, you know, the knowledge of healing, which is a knowledge in this world. The knowledge of healing is in this world, is contained in this world. But Jesus moved himself away from the energy of this world to the idea of this kingdom that he was going to go to. And he became the energy of that. So that is the next higher state, so much greater than this world, so much superior to this world, to the God of this world, the fallen one. And that is the idea of the God of the Bible, where greatness is not the state of being perfection by doing bugger all, but greatness is the state of having dominion over everything else. The state of ruling over this world, the state of being in total control of everything. And that is greatness. Yeah? And again, that thought is creating man in its own image. Man are becoming that. The fullness of I want to rule over, but Klaus Schwab is as godly as you can get. Just becoming that. Of course, that creates a duality. It is that thought that creates a duality. Because in order to rule over, you need to have something that is being ruled over. And this world won't do it. The God of this world will not yield. Nature will not yield to that lunacy. So man has to become the other part of it. And there came blessed Jesus to create the sheep. Yeah? To create those that will not ask for themselves, not think for themselves, that will only say what they were told to say, that will only do what they were told to do by something greater than themselves. And that is that kingdom. Yeah? That is now trying to become the world, and it won't. This world spewed out one part of it, which was Jesus, and it will spew out the rest. So that's why I think there might be a rapture. And you might be going to that place that you crave. You know, in the all there's no judgment, and it will give according to what you ask. And that is where you want to go. You know, I want to be sheep that is being ruled over in this glorious world where this wonderful being is telling everybody else what to do. I think you're going to go to that place. If you crave that so much, you will go to that place. Jesus did. But it won't be happening here. Because there is a God of this world. And that thought is not of this world. And it will be spewed out. So there may be a point where there is a rapture, where everybody goes to where the desire is taking him, and according to what energy they have become compatible with. So you're a Christian, you want to go to this world where you're being ruled over by a rod of iron, you will go there. Yeah, you are a Buddhist and you want to go into this blissful nothingness where you will no longer exist, and make very sure of that. I am cannot exist in all. You will cease to exist. Well, if that's where you want to go, that's probably where you're going to be taken. You will stop to exist. Or you can stay in this world, but then you must be according to this world. And it is not a fallen state. In fact, this world is, from all these three options, I would say this world is the greatest state. The will that everything should exist with each other through giving and receiving, and to create a balanced whole in which everything can exist as it is. It is not unconditional love. Unconditional cannot exist in form, but it is as close as you can get. It is a lot closer than the God of the Bible, who wants you to recreate yourself into something completely different from a human being, and only then can you enter. That is, and then saying, oh, he is unconditional love. He is as conditional as you can get. He needs you to become something radically different from what you are. So that's what I think. I think from all the possibilities that we can think of, the world is actually the highest state. It is the depiction, it is the fruit of a desire that is far above. It is above the idea of I am perfection because I'm doing nothing, because that's the easiest way to be perfect, by doing nothing. It is most certainly above the thought of perfection as ruling over. And you can see the fruit of that in this world. You can know that God by his fruit, because it's happening all around us and it's utterly destructive. And it is what creates desolation. Or you can see the God of this world and get to know him. How is it possible? How can you create something where all these different forms can live together and sustain each other? Learn from that, because that is by far the highest state there is. And you're being told to reject that as fallen, and to mainly either accept nothingness, doing nothing as the highest state, or having dominion over this as the highest state. And as I said, you might be raptured. This world might spew out those that are no longer the energy of itself. But you are not going up. You are not going up. Then you are falling. Then you will be falling. This world, as I said, it's genius. It is level of genius. And the one that wants to have dominion over this is lesser state of consciousness. That's for sure. Anyway, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.